Bringing us stories now, trending stories around the world, is Ayo Mairo Ese.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. I cannot start without, first of all, acknowledging the very well-dressed gentlemen to my right and to my left in the studio. We haven't acknowledged it all day. Rufai in his three-piece suit, and Doctor, they say your suit is just giving some women palpitations this morning. Well,
Rufai is doing dress rehearsal for his wedding.
I actually suspect.
Which we are looking forward to.
I suspect that Rufai might be going somewhere after this show. Make sure you invite us anytime you decide to.
Going back home to sleep.
Well,
thank you, Ayo. Thank you.
Let's get to stories that are trending around the world. We'll start from back home here in Nigeria, where Nigeria is still reeling from the news of the passing of accounting icon Chief Akintola Williams, who died on Monday at the age of 104. The graduate of accounting at the University of London was born in 1919. In 1952, he founded the first indigenous chartered accounting firm in Africa, Akintola Williams Co, in Lagos. He was also a founding member of the first president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Also, we have news in entertainment about Mitchel Ihezue of Imo State, who has been crowned the winner of the Miss Universe Nigeria 2023 pageant, which took place on Sunday at the Convention Center of Eko Hotels and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. Ihezue, who is 26-year-old and a visual artist, was presented the crown by Hannah Iribhogbe, the Miss Universe Nigeria 2022. She will go on to represent Nigeria at the Miss Universe 2023 in El Salvador in November 18. We've paid tribute earlier this morning to the doyen of the accounting world. I think not just in Nigeria, but in Africa as a continent, a distinguished gentleman, and we hope that he will rest in peace. Now let's begin what's trending with stories reaching us about Nigerians reacting to President Bola Tinubu meeting with Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the president of the United Arab Emirates, UAE, in Abu Dhabi on Monday. In a statement released by the presidential spokesperson Ajuri Ngelale, President Bola Tinubu and President of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, following the meeting, finalized what is said to be a historic agreement which has resulted in the immediate end of the visa ban placed on Nigerian travelers since 2021. According to the statement, both Etihad Airlines and Emirates Airlines are set to immediately resume flight schedules in and out of Nigeria without any further delay. This development comes nearly 3 weeks after the president expressed his willingness to personally intervene to end the nearly one-year ban. Let's take some reactions. We have here from the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo SAN. Special thanks to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at official EBAT for personally leading our delegation to end this impasse with the UAE. All credit goes to him. His Midas touch during the discussion was crucial. He just made my job easier. All right, let's move on to the next tweet. Ayotunde Bali says, this is a welcome development and another giant stride by President Bola Tinubu's administration. This visa ban lifting will further strengthen the bilateral relations and investment policies between the UAE and Nigeria. This is a true reflection of a serious government. Hashtag G20 Summit. Final comment here, or final tweet here from Bobo Aziz, who says, I'm not trusting this. Till UAE release this information, the Nigerian Air Saga and Dangote refinery launch by Buhari is a perfect example why I will never believe this APC-led government. I will only act on what I see, you implement, not what you say. So, say, not do, believe what I say and not what what I do and not what I say. What do you think, Rufai?
So, there's been a lot of brouhaha as regards, this announcement of visa ban. But what I keep saying is, once it's been announced, I think Nigerians out there that have things to do in Dubai and UAE should go out there and apply and tell us what they feel as regards this, pure and simple. Yes, the Emirati News Agency reported not extensively on the visa ban. They reported on other parts of the visit and all of that. But also, Nigerians should look inwards and see, most importantly, how we can develop our country. And I'm going to come back and expatiate on that. As regards this going to the UAE and all of that, yes, we'll go. We're seeking partnership as regards forex arrangement and liquidity and all of that. We're also seeking partnership as regards defense. We're seeking partnership in other areas. But I think we should dial back And this should be a clarion call on all of us today. At a point in this country, we had a Nigerian Airways that was noted around the world, that was our own indigenous airline. What did we do with Nigerian Airways? We ruined it. We ruined it by the corruption and the terrible bureaucratic activities of our government officials. We all know how we had to sell Nigeria Airways for almost nothing. When was the end? As at that time we had Nigerian Airways flying the skies. This same country we are running to today, Dubai, had not set up even the Emirates airline because it was set up in 1985. Etihad came on stream in 2003, around the time Nigeria Airways was dying off. Nigeria has so much potential, but the question is, we keep shooting ourselves in the foot every time. And that's why we need to introspect and look inwards. Around the time we set up Nigeria Airways, Brazil also set up Embraer, a company that makes planes. Today, because we've not invested in our aerospace industry, we are spending most of our money to go and buy planes from Brazil. Most of the Super Tucanos we bought, fighter planes, were Embraer. So when you look at it, the truth has to be said, what are we doing inwards? Look at this Dubai a lot of Nigerians are going to for holidays. Who used to go to Dubai before? Nothing. Most of this transformation only happened recently because the same oil money we got, they too, they got that same oil money. But they knew that oil was not sustainable in the long run, so they started using oil money to develop the economy. From a fishing village to a desert to what it is today. But we, the billions and hundreds of billions of dollars we've made from oil, have been frittered away due to corruption. Dubai has built multiple cities. Sharjah is known for its big libraries and the other things. Now, Dubai is known as the, capital for luxury and everything around the world. They've built another ecosystem. The Saudis are also doing the same. They are launching an airline. They're also building 7-star hotels in Saudi and the likes. They've built Burj Khalifa. What have we built? All the things we built, we've had to sell. Look at the likes of Eko Hotels of this world. Look at the likes of many infrastructure we built. Look at the likes of Federal Palace of this world. So we have gone 15 steps backward, and it is very sad that Nigeria has now become the country that goes around the world and has become a begging bowl. So please, it is leadership and righteousness that exalts a nation. In all of this conundrum, we should also look back to what Nigeria used to be and look at the future and say, what do we want for Nigeria? Good step, and kudos to President Tinubu because he has started all of these measures. But we should think deeply how things have gone bad. Right. Look at Brazil. We used to have an airline that used to fly from Nigeria to Brazil direct flights. We don't have all of that any longer.
Very well said. Thank you so much, Rufai. Dr. Abati, do you want to comment on this?
Well, we've made a point that, okay, in terms of boosting relations between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, good optics. At least something that President Tinubu is bringing back home. Two, as I said earlier, the devil is in the details. Okay, and it's good that Nigerian officials and officials of the United Arab Emirates, they are meeting this morning to work out the details. The third point, which I made earlier, is about national interest. What is in it for us in terms of certain fundamentals within the aviation sector in Nigeria? What will be the benefit in terms of frequencies, which was an issue that the NCAA had to address at a point. Four, Ajuri Ngelale, the special advisor to the president, told us that the resumption of flights by Emirates and Etihad is without any immediate financial commitment by the Nigerian government. And, that's something that, we should underline properly. And he said, this new agreement will come with mutual responsibility. That mutual responsibility, we'll see it in terms of the details, and we hope that airline operators of Nigeria will not, again, object very strongly to this move. Number 5, as pointed out, ordinary Nigerians will benefit, those for whom Dubai has become a second home. And also, Nigerians living in the UAE, who Abike Dabiri told us are excited because their work permits will now be approved. Number 6 is the fact that this is not just about aviation. The agreement, we're told, covers agriculture, covers trade between both countries, industry, climate change issues. Again, those details have to be worked out so that Nigeria is not at a disadvantage. And then finally, of course, was the original point that I made about leadership and vision. It makes all the difference. It's a big story about, most of those Middle Eastern countries because they have the kind of leadership that provides opportunities for their people. That is what we need here too. And President Tinubu has said under his watch, there will be no bad leadership. We'll be watching. It's just about 100 days yet in office, but it's still, a long distance ahead.
All right, well, as the story unfolds in terms of the finer details of this agreement, we'll definitely bring it to you. Let's take another story. In a move aimed at facilitating repairs to the old Murtala Mohammed International Airport Old Terminal, Festus Keyamo, Nigeria's Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, issued a directive mandating airlines and companies operating at the old terminal to relocate to the new facility before October 1st, 2023. In recent days, passengers traveling through the new MMIA airport terminal have since experienced significant disruptions and delays. In a recent video now trending on social media, the new terminal has experienced uncontrolled crowds, bewildered passengers, scattered luggage, and a wave of unusual flight delays and cancellations due to airlines' inability to process its passengers within the time allowed and have thereby made the airport terminal look more like a marketplace. Look at the video there. I mean, already when you go, when you're flying through Murtala Mohammed International Airport, it seems as if the airport is overwhelmed. It's not the most efficient of processes, and I believe that's what the minister was trying to address. But in so doing, he has created more chaos. Is this a case of things getting worse before they get better, Dr. Batim?
No, simply I think it's just because we don't plan before we act. Or you say you act and then you start thinking later. You recall that the Minister of Aviation went to that airport and then just on the spur of the moment there, he gave the directive that everybody should move from the old international terminal to the new terminal, and that, the old terminal will have to be fixed, renovated, and all of that. Yes, the building is an eyesore. The AC is not working, the carousel not working, but what were the arrangements put in place for this transition to the new terminal? Again, there was a fire incident at that same airport, further complicating the process. But in terms of the reality, the stakeholders said they were not consulted. I think some rigorous consultation should go into some of these, policy moves or, some of these measures that are, introduced. Now, we were told that buses will be provided to transport people from the old terminal when planes land there to this new terminal. Look, they don't have enough buses. Yeah. It's the same buses that are used to take luggage from that end of the airport to this other end that is also used to transport persons. I was at the airport recently, of course, and it could take you 4 or 5 hours before you get your luggage out. Even those carts, not enough. So travelers, passengers are subjected to unnecessary nightmare. And if you went to the airport maybe to receive somebody, there's no sitting area. You could stand there for hours. So the whole purpose of aviation or aerospace development is not to punish people. The next thing you hear now, Nigerians have to make sacrifice because things will get bad before they get better. But there are airports in other countries that are user-friendly. They have a new terminal in Ghana. Yeah. When Nigerians saw that new terminal that they built in Ghana at a very modest sum, the Nigerians were jubilating because of a new airport at Kotoka International. But when it comes to their own, it's always a complaint. When they built this new terminal, that was when we started hearing the parking space is not okay. But somebody designed that new terminal. All of those, complications, they were foreseeable. This new terminal that they are using temporarily, give them 6 months. The toilets will stop working. The carousel will stop working. Why are we like this in this country?
Well, So many questions, and I'm hoping that the way that the minister said the president has made his job easier, let him make the lives of Nigerians easier, even with this particular policy. We'll take another story very quickly. The Lagos State Parking Authority has issued a statement shedding light on the controversial car clamping incident that occurred at a pharmacy parking lot along Allen Avenue in Ikeja on Friday, the 8th of September. According to the statement released by Adebisi Adelabu, the general manager of the agency, the car was clamped due to the pharmacy's failure to pay their annual corporate parking setback levy. In the video circulating on social media, the lady challenged the officials for clamping her car, but they remained silent about the reasons behind the action. Now, whilst the video is playing, Rufai, I mean, we've seen this happen a number of times. I know that Lagos is on a revenue drive and, you know, they have a quota to meet, but is this reasonable?
Well, that's wrong, and that even complicates the matter. They shouldn't have even responded in the first place, because if you say the pharmacy have not paid their levy and you're clamping another person's car, so does it even make sense at all? I don't even know who issued the statement in the first place. You see, it goes back to what is happening even in the airport as we speak today. Never ascribe to malice what you can explain with incompetence. There's a massive level of incompetence, and when people talk about this, say you don't like the government and everything. No, it's not that. We want Nigeria to be better. We love Nigeria more than people that ever say, oh, you don't like Nigeria. And it has to be said. Because when you look at something like this happening, and you see that the lady did not even violate any setback, but it's because you can't collect your levy, you're punishing her. Just like how, because we can't design our airports properly, we don't have proper place for the planes to park, you're not saying you want to reform the new terminal, so people will now have to suffer. Just because you can't provide buses. Now, I now hear the minister is trying to set up a task force when all of this is going on. So you can see the problem with Nigeria. I don't want to say it's a fishy, but what I mean by fishy is maybe self-fulfilling prophecy. But when you look at it critically, we can actually get this done. This country is a great country, but we are not just ready to do the rigor of thinking. They owe that lady an apology, because even this message they've released has complicated the matter.
Thank you very much, Rufai, and thank you, Dr. Bati, of course, for your great analysis as always.